We can trust God in any situation we face, with the confidence that comes from knowing these simple words. God's got this. This powerful assurance serves as a cornerstone for our faith, helping us to navigate through life's challenges, knowing that we are never alone. There are times when life throws its hardest punches, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed or discouraged. We wonder if we'll ever find victory, healing, or deliverance. But as long as we hold on to the belief that God's got this, we can overcome any obstacle. There's nothing we go through that God isn't aware of. Nothing that catches him by surprise. Whether it's sickness, financial strain, family issues, or personal struggles, nothing is too hard for God to handle. As his children, we can face life's storms with the assurance that everything will be okay, as long as we keep our focus on him. Looking to the world for answers often leads to despair and confusion. But when we fix our eyes on God, we are reminded that there is nothing too hard for him. He asks us, is there anything too hard for me? And the answer is a resounding no. This truth should be the anchor for our souls, especially when life's uncertainties start to weigh us down. Every day, we face challenges that can easily cause us to worry. What if the medical report isn't good? What if our finances don't improve? What if our children don't get the opportunities we hope for them? It's natural to try to figure things out, to search for solutions, and to do our best to change our circumstances. But when nothing seems to change, it's easy to become discouraged. Yet in those moments, we must remind ourselves, God's got this. He sees everything that is happening, and he already has the solution in hand. Our human logic may not always understand how things will work out, but that's okay. We serve a supernatural God who can do things beyond our imagination. Instead of trying to force things to happen or living in constant stress, we need to let go and let God take control. When we turn our problems over to him, acknowledging that he is in charge, the burden is lifted, and we can find peace. And not only that, but God will start to move in ways we couldn't even have imagined. No matter what problems or challenges you face, remember that you have a mighty God on your side. He is more than capable of handling anything that comes your way. In Psalm 46:1, we are reminded that God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. This promise assures us that God is not just a distant help, but a very present one, especially in our times of trouble. He is with us not only on the mountaintops, but also in the deepest valleys. He is concerned about every detail of our lives, and we can trust him with everything that concerns us. We have to make a daily decision to live from a place of peace, trusting that God is in control. Every day presents new reasons to worry, but we must keep the truth close to our hearts. God's got this. He is working in our lives, lining up the right people, and arranging things in our favor. This attitude of faith allows God to do amazing things in and through us. Consider the story of David, the shepherd boy who faced the giant Goliath. David's victory wasn't because he was stronger or more powerful than Goliath. It was because he compared Goliath to God, not to himself. We often make the mistake of comparing our problems to our own abilities instead of comparing them to God's power. When we do that, we realize that nothing is too big for God to handle. Just as David ran toward Goliath with confidence in God, we too can face our giants knowing that God is with us. Worrying is something we all struggle with, but it's important to remember that it doesn't change anything. Worrying doesn't fix our problems, it doesn't improve our situation, and it certainly doesn't bring us peace. In fact, worry often robs us of our joy and makes us miserable. Instead of worrying about what could go wrong, we should focus on what could go right. It doesn't take any more effort to believe in something good than it does to believe in something bad. Both are acts of faith, but only one leads to peace and joy. As God's children, we don't know what the future holds, but we know who holds the future. We can trust that He has everything under control. Sometimes we try to take matters into our own hands, trying to make things happen on our own. But when we step back and trust God's timing and His ways, we find that His plans are far better than anything we could have imagined. God never promised that we wouldn't face difficulties, but He did promise to give us strength for every battle. He promised to take what was meant for harm and turn it for our good. Even when things don't seem to be going our way, we must stay in faith, knowing that God is working behind the scenes. He is in the process of turning things around, and it's just a matter of time before we see the change. When you're in the middle of a storm, it's easy to lose hope and feel like giving up. But worrying won't solve your problems. It won't fix your finances, heal your relationships, or bring you peace. The only way to experience a miracle is to lay your worries aside and have faith in God. He makes a way where there seems to be no way. Whether you're facing a health issue, a financial crisis, or a troubled relationship, God is the way maker, and He will provide a path through the difficulties. God has a track record of making a way when there seems to be no way. He parted the Red Sea for the Israelites, allowing them to walk through on dry ground. He provided manna in the wilderness and water from a rock. He brought down the walls of Jericho and defeated armies much larger than Israel's. These stories remind us that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He is still in the business of doing miracles. Even when the situation seems impossible, God is able to make a way. You may not see how it's going to happen, but that's okay. God's ways are higher than our ways, and His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating events in your favor, even when you can't see it. There are times in life when we find ourselves between a rock and a hard place, feeling like there's no way out. But those are the times when God steps in and shows us who He is. He is the God who can do anything. The very things that seem to be blocking us are the things God will use to bring us victory. Unseen hands are at work, even when we don't realize it. God is working behind the scenes, forming plans and opening doors that we didn't even know existed. He is leading people into our lives, who will help us fulfill our destiny. He is making a way where there seems to be no way. And all we need to do is trust him. God will make a way for you, but don't forget him when you get there. When things start to go your way, remember that it was God who made it possible. When the doors of opportunity open, give him the glory. When the healing comes, give him thanks. When the breakthrough happens, praise him. He is the one who made it all possible. In the middle of your struggles, when things seem hopeless and you're not sure what to do, remember that God is with you. He promises to make a way, even when it seems like all doors have been closed. He will provide a miracle, keep a promise, or shine light into the darkness of your situation. God is still a miracle worker. He is still in the business of doing the impossible. He can heal the sick, restore the broken, and provide for the needy. But sometimes we have to take a step of faith. Miracles are God's business, but obedience is ours. When we do what God asks, even when it doesn't make sense, we open the door for him to do the miraculous. You may be facing a situation that seems impossible, but remember that nothing is impossible with God. He is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. He is able to take your situation and turn it around for your good and his glory. If you're waiting on God for a miracle, don't give up. Keep believing, keep trusting, and keep holding on to his promises. He hasn't forgotten about you. He knows your name, and he is working everything out according to his perfect plan. God's timing is rarely our timing, but it's always perfect. We may not understand why we have to wait, but we can trust that God knows what he's doing. His delays are not denials. He is working out his plan for your life. And when the time is right, everything will come together. In the meantime, we must learn to trust God, even when we don't see anything happening. We must believe that he is working behind the scenes, preparing us for the blessings he has in store. And when those blessings come, they will be far greater than anything we could have imagined. So, if you're in God's waiting room right now, don't lose heart. Trust that he is in control and that his timing is perfect. He will come through for you in ways that will leave you amazed. As we navigate through life's challenges, we must remember that our purpose is greater than any job or career. Our struggles are shaping us for the purpose that God has predestined for us. When God has something for you, nothing and no one can stand in the way. Press on with purpose, trust in God's timing, and know that he has everything under control. Your life is in his hands, and he will bring you to the place he has prepared for you. Just remember, God's got this.